I am recording. Nepotism and hiring bias. Nepotism and hiring bias. So I chose situation number 2, which is about giving your friend a job, even though there are more qualified candidates for that position. So looking at it from a legal standpoint, the last Civil Rights Act of 1991 prohibits discriminatory hiring practices, which include not hiring somebody based on sex, race, gender, ethnicity, or nationality. But nepotism is kind of this tough gray area because it can't really fit into one of those categories, but everyone can still look at it and say it's wrong. The only place where nepotism is prohibited, and it's in the written law, is in the federal government. When appointing someone to a position, you cannot appoint your own family member. So morally and ethically, excuse me, since nepotism is technically legal, does it make it okay? That is up to the manager, the hiring manager, to decide. Maybe you think that it is okay, and blood is thicker than water, and you're looking out for your people. But that comes down to what you believe as a person. And then there are some subcultures that encourage nepotism. For example, in the financial field and in the medical field, there are lots of shady practices that include favoritism, as well as hiring family and friends and things like that. And a lot of it has to do with where you graduated college from or who you know. And one quote that I think is true regardless of position is, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And then as Christians, nepotism should not be affecting our decisions if we're in management positions. Romans 2:11 says, "For he does not show favoritism." And James chapter 2, the entire chapter is talking about how this Jesus, this like great man who we're supposed to be worshiping, showed no favoritism at all. And if we do that, we are not living how we're supposed to. And in the context of James, it's talking about the early church wanting to cater towards more wealthy individuals so they can have more money and prowess. And they're kind of turning the blind eye to poor people, even though Jesus preached numerous times on washing the feet of everyone and becoming the least of these. And then from the viewpoint of running a company, so how would hiring your friend over the more qualified candidate, how would that affect your company? So I believe it would do nothing positive for you in any way. Customers would not be getting the best service they could get. Stockholders in turn would be upset with you because customers don't get the best service. They're not spending as much money as they would if they did get the best service. So stockholders get less money. And then the employees, they might end up like this picture here and start butting heads. Because when you hire somebody that is not as qualified as you could hire, and then there's this like power struggle within the office, it creates a lot of tension. And then within your local community, what would happen? So when your company is not doing as well, then the community suffers a little bit. And that varies depending on what business you're running. If maybe you're in landscaping, for example, hiring someone less qualified would take the beauty away from the local community. But like, let's say you're running a huge corporation like Amazon, hiring your friend less directs less affects the community directly and more it's this almost domino effect that hurts the community. So when it comes to nepotism, there is two ways to look at it. One way is you have to look out for your people. And that's admirable in a sense because it shows how much you're willing to sacrifice for the people around you and the people that you're close to. But when it comes to, what's best for your company, what's best for you, what's best for the people around you, what's best for the people that have invested financially into you, I don't think that anyone can sit there and say that hiring a friend or relative over a more qualified candidate is in any way okay.